Talk about Goldust versus Cody. So Rich has turned way down. Rich, which one of these turns you up? Keep talking, Rich.
You go on this one.
Shit. Interesting.
Hey, you're talk about Bray.
Oh yeah, house show.
There you go. Oh, you got one. Okay, I was gonna say.
Can barely hear you, Rich. Yep.
Okay, well, shit. Fuck it. I guess I'm laying it down.
Hell, oh my sweet lord! All right.
Oh, I can't hear me at all. Yeah, I can't hear me.
I
think I hear me.
Yeah, that's comfortable. Yeah, I'm liking that.
Talking.
I am comfortable now.
Okay, see.
Really want to see you.
A little bit lower on him. No, I'm totally kidding. I'm sorry.
With you.
I think that's comfortable. That's good with me.
And so then my voice is right here.
Okay. Number 8.
Can you guys hear me?
No.
Oh, you got turned up.
I can hear you in the room. Echoing.
Throughout. This is different.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. About to say, I'm still arm's reach away from you. So yeah,
I mean, you could jump over pretty quick though. I could do it for you if you wanted.
No, see, this table's. Yeah, see.
I mean, it's kind of nice in here. I don't want to get blood on these carpets.
I am ready. Murray man.
Well, that's not your name.
Oh, sorry.
Say your name.
J Bell.
See this? See?
We're on a time schedule, fellas.
Yeah, no shit, motherfuckers.
Murray man.
Sound.
He's matching them.
Doesn't matter what's.
I still don't hear you.
Still no Zach.
Bill. Oh
my God! Seriously?
Bill. Sounds like Skrillex.
Yeah, I was about to say this is the time you can shut him off. Guess whose mic is good?
Who's Schlafly Goldberg?
Cannon some. Oh, there.
Hey. Just in time for Easy to come in. It was like,
yeah.
Easy getting ready to turn the car back. What the fuck is going on? Like the angry parent and shit.
All right, cool.
All right.
Eric, we're good.
Yeah, I was about to say, apparently we're good.
Oh, I know.
All right,
we're good.
then.
I'm good. Now, hello.
Yep.
More.
I hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
All right.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm good now.
Woo!
It's that 9 to 5 time to feel alive. This is Band from Ringside.
Tonight on the Band from Ringside podcast, we have the KO heel turn, the Bray Wyatt reboot, Goldust versus Cody Rhodes at Double or Nothing. That and a whole bunch more tonight on the Band from Ringside podcast.
New room, still all good.
Ditch that 9 to 5. It's time to feel alive. Hello, Marks. Welcome to the Band from Ringside podcast. As always, I am your host, Bill Vagey, a.k.a. Sideshow Job. And to my right, as always, we have Two Beer, Zach Bowman. What's going on, Two Beer?
Not much, man. I'm excited. I'm going to see Endgame right after this, so I got my ticket. I feel a little voyeuristic. Rich is in another room looking through the glass, and
Yeah,
I don't know.
we're
Maybe
in
I feel like a
room that we usually are.
maybe I feel like a
sure.
voyeur because he's jerking off. I don't know.
Whoa. Don't be putting that as business out on the street like
That
that.
would make him the
We're live,
voyeur.
folks.
And to his right, we have Jason Cornelius Bell. What's going on, JCB?
Here we go again. Allow us to bow our heads as I pull down the latest edition from the Band from Ringside Podcast, volume 104. Chapter 3, verse 14 of the Good Smart saith hashtag boo the heels. It is all good, baby. Shout out to my girl, Becky Balboa. I'll see you on Sunday. I'm a little jealous of Zach going to see Avengers this evening. I'm going to see that soon enough, but yeah, I'm a little jealous. I ain't going to lie.
I don't know what's gonna be better, the movie or whenever Rich comes in the glass.
Jesus. And to his right, we have Murray, the Murray Man. Murray, what's going on, Murray Man?
Oh, I am also jealous that he's going to see it, but I'm going to see it before Twitter tells me what happened. But even more exciting, yeah, because they're going to give it up.
What's more exciting? What could be more exciting than that, Murray?
Then the Avengers,
Yes.
we're live on social media.
Nice.
Right?
Dude, jump
Where are we
back.
at on social media?
YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, a little bit. We're going to get there a little bit more. But Twitter and Instagram at BFR Pod, Band from Ringside Podcast on YouTube and Facebook, Friends of BFR on Facebook. Live as hail.
HTTFY.
Oh
Hell
my
to the fuck. Yeah, guys. Hey, we're coming
You
at you
cannot
from
get that
the
over.
rainy. We're coming at you from the rainy St. Louis, Missouri, in the beautiful. We're coming at you from the exquisite Shock City Studios in beautiful rainy St. Louis, Missouri. Before we get into the wrestling, we're going to talk to you about that day one-ish sponsor, that Soul Taco, guys. Soul Taco is the best Korean Mexican fusion food that you never knew that you needed, but once you have it, you can't have enough of it. They got places. They got 2 food trucks driving around St. Louis, Missouri. They got a place in U City Loop, a place in Chesterfield, Missouri, Columbia, Missouri, Champaign, Illinois, 2 places in Chicago, Illinois. Go ahead, check them out. Tell them the Band from Ringside sent you. Also, we JD Twigs on Southampton. They got Blues specials. I hear the Blues are in the playoffs.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
were
first game
watching that game.
Yeah, I know. I heard they won the playoff series.
Dude,
Hockey's not really my thing.
I don't want to ever hear anyone say to me that I speak too loud. This motherfucker was about to get us murdered last Thursday.
Where were you?
At JJ Twigs, watching the Blues game.
I wanted to watch the Nets game instead, though. I just asked.
No,
They had 4 TVs. I just wanted to watch the basketball game.
Okay.
Also with all the hockey.
That's not even
games.
what I'm talking about. So this motherfucker leans over to me. He's like, "I don't get it."
I don't get hockey. It's
And-
just,
but he
it's
said
just
it kind
Have
of
you
not-
ever been to a game?
Yeah.
Oh well, how do you not get it then?
Well, there was a lot of
Drinking wine, probably.
there were a lot of slurs yelled every time I go to a game. I'm just surrounded by. I'm not even gonna get into it. It's just.
Just the fucking 20,000 white people in a room. I mean, what do you expect?
Yeah, I know. What can you expect? I mean, what's the worst thing 20,000 white people in a room can say?
Have me walk in the door. Let's find out.
Jason says it all the time.
It's not even the one I'm talking about. But and we are also sponsored by
Guilty.
Schlafly Beer in St. Louis
Oh,
Microbrewery, or brewery, whichever way you want to say it. But without further ado, let's get to our recount. Jason, let us know.
I honestly, it was. I don't even know where to start with this, so I'll just go ahead and let's just jump right into it. KO, Big O, the KO show finally reveals his true colors on Tuesday night.
It was nice.
Oh, yeah.
Super kicks the hell out of Kofi Kingston into sometime later this evening. Maybe he'll come out of orbit on Friday, and then proceeds to attack one Kofi Kingston to probably set up a WWE title match of Kofi Kingston versus KO. Long story short, Kofi Kingston versus Nakamura was the SmackDown main event. Decent match. I feel like Nakamura's checked out, but that's another story for another time. Interference begins. KO doesn't really seem like he's jumping in. He helps Xavier over the top rope, which was a little dicey. I'm not sure who was at fault at that. It looked like Xavier bounced his
He
head
launched
off.
him.
Oh, he launched his ass. Xavier bounced his head off the mats on the bottom, but neither here nor there. Get back into the ring. Nakamura is coming after Kofi, but KO is in the way. Kofi pushes KO out of the way to save him.
To save him. So altruistic of Kofi Kingston, the babyface.
Like I said, Kofi's still in orbit as we speak. So now, like I said, we're setting up who probably at Money in the Bank KO versus Kofi Kingston for the WWE title, which is, I think, is a good start. It gets KO back into the title picture that he was probably going to be in before Kofi Mania took over SmackDown.
Did you think they were going to stick with Kevin Owens as a babyface a little bit longer? Or did you think it took 1 week too long? Or did you think it was just about right?
No, it was just about right.
We said last week that we thought it was going to last a little longer than it did.
I
but
said
I'm
that.
not mad. Yeah, I'm not mad that it did.
I'm not. To me, KO and Miz are supposed to be heels.
Yeah, I agree.
And they are best served as heels.
I felt like
we ran with it for a little bit, which was fine. But now we're back to the status quo, which is the way it should be.
He's a little bit more over as a babyface, probably at being in the orbit of the New Day probably helped him a little bit. But
And
I
the
felt
return. And everybody's a babyface when they come back.
I feel like people were buying into it. What you think, Zach?
Yeah, I said last week that I thought it was going to last a little bit longer. And I still think that it could have. But it was fine because it was that much more impactful because I didn't expect it. Like I was sitting there complacent thinking, KO's a babyface. He's doing a great job, filling in for Big E. This thing's going good. Like, dude's super talented. He's fucking great. He can do anything. And, so that super kick made it that much more impactful. So I'm fine with it.
When he flipped and he just immediately flipped his entire persona.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, this is why he's so good.
He's so good. My only worry is that because they did it early, it makes sense because otherwise what do you do with Kofi? He's just out there every week doing whatever. He doesn't have like a real antagonist right now. So this sets it up. They've got 3 weeks before Money in the Bank, 4 weeks.
I think it's the 19th, so it's 4 weeks.
WWE Creative just needs to keep it fucking simple. They don't need to do a single extra thing to build this motherfucker. It's already built. Like KO turn, you don't need 4 angles in 4 weeks. Let's just fucking have the match and KO come out and murder Kofi on the mic every week.
Couldn't agree more. Murray.
I love it. First of all, Kevin is an amazing heel. And the only other thing that I love most about it at this point is that with all the shakeup and then reshake-up and then the reshake-up that they're doing with everything.
Christ.
2 weeks of shakeup, which is completely
Damn.
sloppy by WWE and terrible.
And we could talk about later, I'm sure, but the Andrade thing made sense. They kind of tried to make a story of why he ended up back on SmackDown. But regardless, the reason why
Mama wants
they tried.
but the candy over on SmackDown.
Yeah, the reason why I like it though is because I don't really know of any other people on SmackDown right now that I would like to see go up with Kofi. Like even if Kofi were to lose to him for the belt, that's the only person on the roster right now I'd want that. I'd be happy with.
There is a natural story there, though, also, where like Kevin Owens, kayfabe style, like probably had a shot at Daniel Bryan coming back.
Exactly.
From maybe this isn't even kayfabe style. Maybe this is like shoot style or work shoot style. Like Kevin Owens was supposed to have that slot at WrestleMania against Daniel Bryan.
Right.
It got taken by Kofi. So now we have Kofi took Mustafa Ali's slot in the gauntlet match and took Kevin Owens' spot at WrestleMania. So it's kind of a natural story.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I can't speak French, but the week before when they were in Montreal, Kevin Owens said something that ended with WrestleMania. And I have no idea what he said to that French Canadian crowd. But it ended with the word WrestleMania. So
I'm like, and I wasn't even fucking at WrestleMania.
Exactly.
But right when KO turned on Kofi, and that was the only part I saw of SmackDown Live because I was like, I bet he's gonna turn, and I turned it on. And right when he turned on Kofi, my first thought was, man, I can't wait to see Kevin Owens promo next week.
Oh yeah.
Because it's going to be great. Because it's always great. Because Kevin Owens is always great. It's well documented that he's my favorite. Where do you see this going, Jason Bell, at Money in the Bank? Because Money in the Bank's kind of a stacked pay-per-view already.
Stacked with bullshit.
I don't know about that. I mean, we got AJ versus Seth.
Let's slow down.
That's good.
Everybody,
That's good.
Okay, let
Kofi
me
versus
be
Kevin Owens?
Zach for 30
All right,
seconds.
so the two
Everybody
championship
just
matches
slow
are
down, okay?
Becky versus Charlotte. Becky versus Lacey Evans.
Okay, see that's where
That's
I'm
gonna
starting to have a little bit of a problem.
That's gonna
And two Money in the Bank matches.
Okay, see that's what I'm saying. We got good, we got bad. let's see how it plays itself out, because we still got to figure out there's mid-card matches, mid-card titles to delve out. So
Roman and the Drifter.
right.
Fuck alert.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Some bad. So let's see how it all play. And then on the 19th, Kofi versus KO. I expect it to be a good, solid 15-minute match. Physical as fuck. But I do expect Kofi Kingston to go over. KO is a good start of a title reign, because even if he loses, he'll still be okay. He's a Teflon at
Murray, as the least negative of everybody sitting here.
Wow! Watch this.
When you think about Roman versus Elias. See, when I think about Roman versus Elias, I think, man, this is a way to bring Elias into either the upper mid card or the main card. I mean, I don't think that Elias should ship, but Elias is clearly a big player because he just got taken out by Cena and Undertaker. You don't put a guy like Elias in that position unless you think of something of him. So what do you think about Roman versus Elias?
It does look like, especially after SmackDown this week, it does look like with kind of pairing him up with Shane all of a sudden, and like you said, the Taker and Cena thing, they're at least giving him a ton of TV time
on SmackDown, which is a 2-hour show.
Yeah.
Right.
So I don't really care, to be honest with you. I mean,
because Roman's going over unless there's some sort of schmoz.
Right. And I don't care.
That's worse than not liking it.
Right. My point is, I don't have any investment in either one of them at this point. I don't have.
Yeah, it really is.
If I'm invested enough to be mad, at least I'm mad.
Yeah, well, right. That's
the difference is the worst thing.
But I just
Douglas.
There's no reason. I'm not attracted to that in any way.
Yeah. Sure.
And so I'm not saying I don't like Elias because I love Elias. I'm not saying I hate Roman.
Elias shouldn't have, because they have a 3-hour Elias is for. Elias is not in there to do chin locks for fucking 10 minutes. He's in there to sit in the ring and play the guitar.
So I don't hate it, but I really, that's not going to be the one I'll probably be on Twitter that.
Look, I'm willing to give Roman and Elias a chance, but the reason to do it is to get Elias over.
And that's not happening.
And it's not happen. I would be very surprised if Roman goes down to Elias.
See, this is where you and I have a fundamental agreement, because I think that putting Elias in the ring with Roman at a pay-per-view is a form of getting him over. Now, it's not necessarily him beating him, but it's definitely making him a major player. Just like
with a main
this is the
event
same
guy.
thing that you and I had with Drew McIntyre versus Roman at WrestleMania. Having Drew McIntyre in the same ring with Roman Reigns at WrestleMania made Drew McIntyre a bigger star, even if it's just incrementally.
I just have more faith in Drew, I guess. I just have more faith in Drew to put on a better match.
I guess. Go ahead.
You know, that's it.
I
just like that's a more exciting match because of Drew. And it's a less exciting match because of Elias. And I like Elias.
Elias is a great character.
He's a great character. He's an okay worker.
Okay.
We haven't seen a lot of him.
Okay, might be on the higher end of what he is.
So more
he's not much of a worker.
Okay, so more so to what Murray is saying, and more so to why I was just like, So you got Roman Reigns, the face of SmackDown, versus an Elias. I see no reason to get excited about that.
Yeah, exactly.
Who would you rather, if Roman Reigns has to go to SmackDown, though, who would you rather him face?
There's a bunch of people.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I mean, Andrade.
Yeah, that would be nice. I would totally have a problem.
Andrade would be great.
Yeah, I was going to say I would totally not have a problem with that.
Austin Powers versus Mini-Me.
Yeah, because Elias
That's
is
the only
so
way that
much taller than fucking Andrade. Get out of here.
Joke, dude. So let's get to our 2 count. What you got, Zach?
So 2 count. We have the return of Bray Wyatt, who I am a big fan of whom I am a big fan, rather. And I really enjoyed the Firefly Funhouse. Like, I don't know. I know Murray did just because I saw his Twitter. But I don't know about you guys. This is actually what I expected. I expected me and Murray to go on one here, and you guys were gonna shit on it.
Oh, I loved it.
Okay, we'll take this with a grain of salt because I am also the same guy that enjoyed the House of Horrors match when I watched it. I can't tell you how many beers or what else I had been
So that's
imbibed.
right. Okay,
but
bam.
I think Bray Wyatt is a great character. He's a great hand, and
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, like he's like the total package. He's a fucking second generation wrestler who has everything going for him.
Third.
He looked great.
Third,
too.
yeah, and he looks great. Like I saw pictures of him outside the ring. He's like he's taking the time off to train his ass off.
He even made a comment during the Firefly Funhouse thing
Yeah,
where
about
he
being
goes,
a fat slob.
he's like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to deal with that fat slob anymore.
Exactly.
And he pointed to the cardboard cutout of himself.
But like, so I really enjoyed the segment. It had like this Adult Swim vibe, you
Yeah,
know,
it did.
like, you know, whenever I was like 10 and bar in my 20s and I get like super banged up and, you know, come home at 3 a.m. and, you know, couldn't go to sleep till 6 for,
Tim and Eric
for
and-
unspecified reasons. And I'd be watching Adult Swim all night. And it gave me that like vibe, you know, it was like Wonder shows in or
Yeah,
like
yeah.
something like that.
You holding any of them
You hold
unspecified reasons?
Holden McNeil, Holden Caulfield. So I really liked it. I'm anxious to see like where it goes. I want to see Bray Wyatt in the ring also, but I think it's super cool. I'm looking forward to the next one.
Yeah, I ate it up. Now, at first, I'm not going to lie. At first, I was a little worried, but then once it started to kind of glitch a little bit, and I saw the gloves, and there was like glimpses that this is going to end up being way darker
It's
under the
weird.
scenes than it
was weird.
The fact that it's all Tinker Toy and happy, but it's Bray Wyatt, and we know Bray Wyatt for being a darker character. There's obviously something under all that squeaky clean kid show paint, and like so, and the fact that it from what I understand, it was his idea. He's been sitting on this idea for a long time.
That's dope.
It didn't come from another company, and it kind of has a Matt Hardy sprinkle on it. Just that he's able to do something so outside of the WWE box.
Well, there is the idea. He did get thrown into the lake of reincarnation.
Right, but he came back as
Yeah.
a kind of regular, but I thought the same thing. So whether they tie that in or not, I
Right.
still feel like there was doors open for him to be creative and go way outside the box.
My analogy to this is when Marty McFly played Johnny B. Good in Back to the Future,
Yeah.
and he's like, "You guys may not have been ready for that one, but your kids are gonna love it."
Yeah, yeah,
I
exactly.
did like how his glove said hurt and heal,
Yeah.
and he held the one hurt up to his ear, and then that's when he cut the head off of
With the
his
chainsaw?
with his chain, cut the head off of the cardboard cutout. With his
There's even a
chainsaw.
lot of people saying right now that like if you watch it more, like the more you watch it, there's little stuff hidden in that video, like all through it.
I'm not kidding. I've watched it 6 times.
Well, they played the same one on SmackDown though, so that kind of bugged me. But
Well, that's because I don't think they know whether or not he's going to be on Raw or
no,
SmackDown.
I don't care right now.
It was number 34 on YouTube overall when I watched it 2 days after. I watched
Matt
one
Hardy
day after. I
effect.
watched it Wednesday. Yeah, it at number 34 on YouTube completely. Like,
Yeah.
Let's hear what Jason says.
Here we go.
No, I mean, I like Bray Wyatt ultimately. You kind of
But-
said it. No, it's not a but just yet. Murray kind of said it earlier that there's something darker to it. And that's ultimately, I hope, where this is going. It does have like a Pee-wee's Playhouse vibe to it.
Yep.
Adult Swim. I agree with those things.
Blue's Clues.
Yeah, okay. No problem with that. My problem is how he's getting ready to get booked. Because this just feels like this is just repackaged Bray Wyatt to start getting jobbed out in a different way. Not unless you're showing me something before he gets into the ring of a darker, and I mean darker, I mean like Aleister Black promo darker. I don't know what the fuck you're getting ready to do type shit. If it's going to be kind of like, Pee-wee's Playhouse, then I don't necessarily want to see that. I want to see a darker Bray Wyatt booked winning more matches than losing.
I want to see him
Because
cut
if he loses, then none
Lars
of this
Sullivan's
matters.
arm off.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Feed him.
That would be
feed
nice.
him.
But if he comes back and starts jobbing out, this looks good, but then ultimately won't last. And apparently, I heard that this is not lasting anyway because I read this.
I saw that too. I think.
Okay, they've already kind of abandoned the idea already.
Well, they're
Fuck.
Of that?
well, the network, not
Of the
WWE
Firefly
network,
Funhouse?
but the company or USA or whatever, and then possibly Fox are all like about where it's going. So they could water it the fuck down if nothing else.
Let me ask
But
you this, Jason.
who knows?
Like, say you could put them on SmackDown or Raw, either one. And let's say you enjoy this reincarnation or this reboot of Bray Wyatt. Who would you put him up against first? If you were booking it, who would you put him up against first? He's a heel.
Well,
he's a heel. I mean, he's not a face.
He's kind of tweener. I think that's right now he's tweener.
You're not sure where he's going.
Very
He
definition
should probably
of tweener.
be on Raw to start because it's a little more room for him to play with, especially if you're going to have him going on vignettes week to week. I'd
put him against No Way Jose and have him
Cedric
come
Alexander?
out doing his dance, and then beat him.
Cedric Alexander and
Turn him
Bray
into a
Wyatt could be
puppet.
a good match.
Yeah, I don't
want Cedric to lose to him.
There's no guarantee.
I mean,
Cedric
it
loses.
seems like Cesaro's already getting rebooted though, also because he's coming out to Sheamus's music and basically beat Cedric Alexander in 6 minutes, which I don't mind because Cesaro should be a major player as long as they push Cesaro as a major player.
Yeah.
I think that I would put him right up against AJ Styles. I would have AJ Styles lose to Seth Rollins and have Bray Wyatt versus AJ Styles.
No, you put him on SmackDown and you you make him the reason why KO doesn't win the title.
See, that's thinking even bigger than me, and I like it.
Because that's a great fucking feud.
I think when this era is done, like when we think about this era that's like 2011 through 2018 or something like that.
Yeah.
I think Bray Wyatt will be the one wasted guy that we think of. We're like, man, this guy could have been so much more because he's a big guy. He can work. He obviously puts everything that he can into every character that he has because he had a couple different Bray Wyatt characters.
Invests in him.
What I like so much about the Firefly Funhouse is that he was all in.
Ain't nobody pulling that off but Bray Wyatt.
That's the Undertaker kind of thing.
It could have come off looking really dumb.
Oh yeah.
I was just kind of like, what?
Yeah.
It was not dumb though.
But
I was marking out. I was like, man, this is cool.
It was definitely something you had to look at 2 or 3 times.
It saved all those vignettes. Because those vignettes, everybody was like, okay, this is going to be so stupid.
Dude,
but
his friends are called Mercy the Buzzard.
Yeah.
And I can't remember.
Dude, the
Amy
dolls,
or something.
the dolls are like really well done.
Yeah.
Name of the puppeteer that made them, but he's like a high-end Hollywood. Like they actually invested in like high-end Hollywood like puppeteer to like create these characters. And if they fucking go at the whim of like USA or Fox, like what is the point of like having a creative endeavor if you're gonna have like it? They already fucking book like Brian Pillman come in with a fucking gun to Stone Cold Steve Austin's house, and we're talking about it 25 years later.
Yep. See, that's when they were privately owned. You could do shit like that.
Well, no, they got yelled at for that.
Okay,
Like, yeah.
But guess what? They
Still
publicly
awesome.
own now.
I mean-
Okay, we don't do shit like that.
I mean, I know wrestling fans enough though to know that if this never goes anywhere, wrestling fans 10, 20 years from now will be talking about Bray Wyatt's Firefly Funhouse
I agree.
and about how cool it was.
For the exact same
'Cause
reason
that's-
why they say that about Matt Hardy and the Broken Universe.
it was different. I will give them that. Now, where it goes,
better than Matt
how?
Hardy.
No, it was kudos. I'll give WWE credit. If this was Bray Wyatt's idea and they let him run with it, credit due. But it has to be done right. There can be no missteps.
And that's going to do it for our 2 counts. And here comes our 3 count.
See, why you fucking with that, man? Why
No,
you
he's
fucking with
good.
that?
He's good. Sam never would have done that. Sam would have totally fucked that up.
$5 says next week, Sam gets it right. Do that same thing you did next week.
You're
Put it
on.
in the bucket.
You're on.
There's no bucket. That's
All
what I
right.
say. It'll be a payoff.
So our
immediately.
3 count that got announced this week that at Double or Nothing, which is AEW's first official event, their second, their first official was unofficial.
AEW's first, yeah.
First AEW official event that they've announced that Goldust, Dustin Rhodes, has ended amicably his contract with WWE, and he is going to be wrestling his brother at Double or Nothing. His brother being Cody Rhodes. I think there's probably about 13 years between them, something like that.
I'm not sure.
I think
At least.
It sounds about right.
I think Goldust is probably 50. If only
He
we
is
had
50.
If only we had computers
I
sitting
know,
around.
right?
And
Our stat guy's jerking off. I know.
but I am psyched for this match. I'll get to the good before I get to the bad. The AEW Double or Nothing has a bunch of great matches lined up. It's got the Young Bucks versus Phoenix and Pentagon. It has
that's gonna be off the chain.
Omega Jericho 2. It has Hangman Page versus Pac.
Jesus Christ.
And now we have Goldust versus who's no longer Goldust, which is fine, but he's got some new paint. He's got some red looking paint.
Darth Maul.
Yeah, I like that
And-
shit.
Yeah, it's cool. And it's Goldust versus Cody Rhodes. I'm psyched for this match because those two guys, and I know we're a couple surgeries later, and they
For both of them.
probably both of them. Oh yeah, 3 surgeries, 2 brothers, 1 match.
That should be the
Nice.
tagline.
Yeah, right.
But
You need to tweet that.
but they both ran Raw for a full year back in like 14 or something when they were
Stardust.
when they were tag teams, when they were the tag team, and it was Stardust and Goldust, and it was when 6-man tag matches ran Raw, and those guys were tag team champions for a long time, and they were fun to watch.
Yeah, it was right when the Shield was really starting to get into full swing. They had that
And the
rivalry
Usos.
with the Shield, rivalry with the Usos.
Yeah,
Um,
and they held the belts for probably 6 months
no, it was longer than a normal WWE title reign. That's for damn sure.
for tag teams. For sure.
Yeah.
I guess just looking forward, it's curiosity because we kind of teased it in WWE and it never came to fruition. Now we really are actually getting ready to see this. So I'm just kind of interested. It's more curiosity than anything else. I don't think this is going to be a 5-star match or match of the year by anything. By any stretch.
Cody's never had the 5-star match.
No, they call him Cody 3-star, which is derogatory.
Yeah,
and pejorative.
I'm going.
But it could be a
But-
5-star story.
Yeah, Cody
Okay,
knows how to
that-
tell
yeah,
a
that's the
story,
point.
and Dustin knows how to tell a story, and they
For
are going.
sure.
They're
Yeah.
like just in the one promo that Dustin had. That's his best promo since he had the fucking original Goldust character, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
I agree.
Like it was.
When
It
he was
was-
saying goodbye or whatever.
Yeah, it was real. It drew on real life. And if you're gonna like do this on such short notice, that's what you need to do to like build this animosity. You need good promos like this.
I also think it's good with Cody having the what's his actual official title with AEW.
EVP.
It's nice that he's not taking a spot as like a Triple H back earlier on where he was going to be the headline guy with one of the headline guys, and he's also one of the guys who's booking the matches, and having this match as like kind of more of a
It'd be more like a
WrestleMania.
mid-card. No, it feels like this
The
will be a
mid-card
mid-card
match.
match.
it'd probably be the middle of the mid card, that last match before the second half. So my point being, I just like that it's more of a nostalgia match, and there's history already boiled into it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So
it's
nice.
kind of it's like a nostalgia match mixed with like the most current thing possible.
It's a fantasy match, I guess, is a better way of putting it.
I mean, if
To a
Cody,
smaller degree,
if
yeah,
Cody
I
was
can see why
fighting,
you say
if
that.
Cody
Sure.
was fighting Goldust at Money in the Bank, we'd probably be rolling our eyes. But that's because WWE wouldn't allow these two guys to do everything that they could do for
Who knows what they'll do with that match?
18 or 19 minutes. Probably they'll probably get 15, 16, 18, 19 minutes, something like that.
There'll be a lot of outside the ring action, like
Yeah,
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure.
Either,
Yeah.
way, there's tons of story to go into it, and it psychs me up. It's also kind of hits the feel spot where it's like, man, you know what their dad would be thinking
That's
of.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like for them, and that's really cool because their dad was such an innovator and such a smart wrestling mind to have his 2 sons, born of different mothers, so far apart, to fight each other in a promotion that
Built by the roads.
built by the roads.
Yeah.
The only reservation I had is if it was like 6 months later after AEW announced a TV deal, and then like you had like Goldust come in and he had to be like Cody's underling, but that's like
They could
WWE
still do
brain
that
though.
though.
But that's kind of WWE
No,
brain.
you don't
It's
want to
like,
do that.
yeah.
In fact, this is you strike where the iron is high.
I think that's what it is.
There is no perfect time.
let's just do it now.
Exactly. That's why I
Because
agree
who knows
with-
what they'll take it after that.
Same thing that I think about AJ versus Seth, which is like either one of these guys could get hurt. Like you could save it for SummerSlam,
Nope.
or you could just do it right
Just do it
now,
right now and
and
be done
have
with
that
it.
dream match and go against the Game of Thrones series finale like they're going to do at Money in the Bank, which is,
Oh fuck, I'm definitely not watching Money in the Bank.
I know, it seems insane, right?
I don't.
No
I will.
way.
I
No way.
don't watch Game of Thrones.
That's going to do it for our 3 counts.
I'm so confused.
Jason, let us know about F&B.
F&B on the corner of 3453 Southampton. If you are a smash burger fan, such as myself and the rest of the Band from Ringside podcast crew, you need to hustle your ass on over and see my boy Mike at F&B Eatery. Take the kids. We got a kids menu there. Got all kinds of other amazing menu items besides the hamburgers alone. So like I said, go on down, check them out. 3453. Let's try it again. 3453 Southampton F&B Eatery. Tell them that JCB can't talk, but I sent you there anyway.
Right here, Rich. All right, we got some odds and ends to get to. Sami Zayn to be doing. I mean, going at the audience might be the oldest trope in the pro wrestling encyclopedia. Yeah. But Sami Zayn is doing something really good.
He's so good at it.
No, it's working for now, for sure.
Dude, like we talked about this, like the first time he turned heel. The whole thing about like just cranking your character up. And that dude is so fucking good. Like he comes out and he's almost doing a parody of his own like dance. Like whenever he comes out, it's like a little bit extra.
He's like that. He's like Shawn Michaels in that Hogan match.
Absolutely, yeah. He's just like overselling.
That's on Mark.
It's perfect.
No, we are doing well with Sammy now.
Give him
where
an
do
opponent.
we go? Yeah, where do you
opponent.
go? And whoever it has to be somebody that's a prohibitive fan favorite, and he has to trounce that fan favorite.
Aleister Black.
Aleister Black is on SmackDown now.
Oh yeah, he just moved.
Seems like Sami Zayn is
so
on
Ricochet.
Give him.
Ooh, actually, that might be
Zayn.
interesting. That might be interesting, especially with Sami Zayn being this new Sami Zayn. Like,
I'd put him right up against Seth Rollins. Let's see how it goes.
It'd be good, yeah, because then he loses. But he's not going to take the title.
What I don't want to happen is for them to fall in the same trap that AJ Styles did with Kevin Owens and with Nakamura, which is they have 4 or 5 matches in a row, and none of them are satisfying. And there's a couple of schmaz finishes, and then there's no ending to the feud. You know what I mean?
Which is what they're doing a lot these days.
It ruined like those great feuds that we were supposed to have.
Like the last good AJ Styles feud that we had, and correct me if I'm wrong, was John Cena. And they had a great one.
Yeah, it was Cena. It was perfect.
They had the best one of all time.
Of Cena's availability, they don't fucking shoot an angle every single week.
More so, simpler than that. It was simple finishes. It wasn't like, my foot got tangled over X, or I'm kicking somebody in the balls, or
right.
It's
that's why they just do angles on angles on angles.
Sometimes it's just best to keep it simple.
And I want to shout out to a friend of the BFR on Facebook, Josh Hewitt, who said, just a weird thought, but does anybody else think the whole Sami Zayn gimmick is a shoot on Dean? And I thought that was that was a really funny idea.
It is.
Because,
hi, Josh.
Hey, Josh, do you know?
I know Josh.
Okay.
We even kind of, sort of, in a weird way, mentioned that a little bit last week too on the pod. I think I mentioned how it reminded me a little of what Dean Ambrose was supposed to be coming off as.
I'm sure a lot of guys feel the same way. Exactly what Sammy is saying.
For sure.
I love how Sammy showed all of his vacation photos.
Real slow too. Just all of them.
Look how happy I am.
Look at him and Kevin Owens just now healing it up on both shows and being great at it.
Yeah. Robert Roode.
Robert motherfucking Roode, baby.
I'm also a fan of this.
I love it.
Are you a fan? I was very surprised that he went over Ricochet.
Hell yeah.
And it's one match.
Ricochet
but
can bounce back.
That's funny, but also, I was just surprised because those guys have been unbeatable since they came, and it's funny that they had, it's like Vince just liked his mustache, and he's like, "All right, you're going over Ricochet." I like it. I think it's good. It's a good development for him, and he's back to being a heel.
Yeah,
Vince putting over Ricochet and Aleister Black is like
mind blowing.
It's like when you're trying to get laid, and you're saying pretty much anything, and then you get to WrestleMania. You get to WrestleMania, and then when it's done, you're like, I gotta I guess I gotta get out of here.
Cold-blooded. And
That's
there
good.
goes our last.
Am I
female
right,
fan.
though?
I mean,
When he's right, he's right.
Yeah, he'll get in there. I guess he's right.
But I like the Robert Roode mustache. I like the heel turn.
is it weird that that's what he debuted as in TNA? Was Robert Roode?
Was he Robert Roode? I
Yeah.
did not know that.
I didn't know that either.
I don't think he had the mustache.
I think that Bobby is a weird name for a heel.
Yeah.
And they had two heels.
Lashley.
And they had Lashley and Bobby Roode. But I
Robert Lashley.
think that Robert Roode, he's better as a heel.
Oh yeah.
And going over Ricochet is not that big of a deal, Jason.
Yeah, and I guess it's a good start if we're repackaging him as Robert Roode. I don't know. It almost feels like it's too little, too late. But let's just see where it happens. Beating Ricochet is a good start. Where it goes from here, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, I'm holding out hope for a little bit. But it might just, like I said, it might just been too little, too late.
We had Cesaro coming over to Raw also. I think this was a double check by Vince because I guess Sheamus is actually hurt.
That's kind of what
He's
I've
been
figured.
hurt forever.
He
Yeah,
has been.
Might be done.
Yeah, I say that's
like-
why he was.
he's got-
That's why I think ultimately that's why they paired him with Cesaro is because
Cesaro could carry.
of the same neck injury that Edge has,
Yep.
Sheamus has. So Cesaro, to a certain degree, had to carry that load up until this shakeup where he's going solo.
Give me a percentage chance in the next year between now and WrestleMania that Cesaro gets a title shot.
Which
Shot?
card?
Heavyweight Universal title shot.
I can only hope there's a high percentage.
Percentage.
I'll give it the same percentage as the Raw audience has lost year to date, and that's 26.
I think 26 is kind of a probably good
I
percentage.
think it's accurate. Yeah.
I'm going to go with 98%.
I mean, if they-
I'm
if-
almost thinking
if
that's a
they
little high.
wanted to push him as a heel though,
97 then.
against Seth, like when you look at the Raw roster, I'd rather see a Cesaro Seth match than the Miz Seth match.
Oh,
Fuck, yes.
absolutely.
Yeah.
The Miz
and I
could go
love-
do
hey,
reality
yeah,
TV
I
forever.
love Miz, but damn, yeah, that goes without saying. I
Charles
just
a man.
I wonder where Vince's head is at because it's
Up his fucking ass.
stop it.
No.
Cesaro should have probably already gotten this shot,
Absolutely.
but now it feels like WrestleMania is now a long way away again. So I'm thinking, yeah, it could happen, but
It's a long way off.
it's a long way off.
Kofi
I just
happened like a month before
There's-
WrestleMania.
Right, that's
There's
what I'm
only
saying.
14 pay-per-views before that.
Yeah.
If you don't include the Saudi Arabia shit.
I'm counting that
That's
motherfucker. I'm gonna watch
16.
it. So I mean, yeah, it should happen. I don't. In my heart of hearts, I don't believe it. But 25% is to me is a little high.
All right, Vince once again renamed the War Raiders. They are now called the Browns Bengals. Are you guys cool with that name or not? No,
Yeah.
the Viking Raiders. You guys cool with that name?
Yeah, that's fine, except for then they hit their finisher, and Michael Cole's like, "That's the Viking experience."
Yes.
And
Is
so
that-
that's
yeah,
their
I didn't
finisher
even
name.
watch
now.
it.
Yeah, the
So
finisher is now the Viking experience.
I'm all right
Yeah,
with it.
it
At
makes
this point,
more
who
sense.
cares?
I mean, I guess that what's his face is married to what's her face?
Sarah Logan.
And I guess they're way into like Viking, like
Yeah, they had a wedding that was a Viking thing, and
yeah.
Vince saw it on their
so
Instagram.
that's what happened. Yeah, Vince. He was like, "Tell me about yourself." He's like, "I got married recently."
Really?
How'd you get married? I got married at a just a traditional ceremony. It's a Viking place. Oh, it's a Viking experience.
That's probably
No
exactly
shit.
how it went.
I can
Out
see
there.
that. I can totally see that. No, apparently they're trying to keep the couples together or whatever. That's part of the reason why.
Which is good. That's
No,
good.
yeah.
weird that they're okay. I think it's because it's not
no,
how it used
no,
to be.
morale is not too hot. Okay,
Right,
you
right now,
got
yeah, yeah.
what they're
Gotta do whatever
busy
you
Basically,
need.
that
women.
Vince, who doesn't give a fuck about his employees,
Yeah.
cares about people that are together but not married.
Charlotte and Andrade aren't even married, but like everybody on Twitter got so mad when Andrade moved that they not only moved like
They moved
Andrade
Zelina.
back, but they moved Alistair because
Alistair
Alistair's
back, too.
actually married to Zelina.
No,
so.
and they're currently having an orgy.
Nice.
Not bad. Wait,
Zach.
hang on.
you went to the house show in St. Louis the other night. What happened?
So Friday night,
How was my boy Dex?
he was good, man. He had a great time, like super great time. A special thanks to Craig and Samir, fellow beefers. They had won front row tickets from the point.
They had great seats.
Yeah, and we were right on the corner post. So
Nice.
great dudes that they are, great friends that they are. We had good seats. We were row C, so like third row off the floor.
So they gave you good seats.
They swapped us at intermission. So
They
We
got
saw the
second
goodness
half.
of their heart.
yeah, just have the goodness of their heart because they're
You're in that
good of
podcast.
guys.
Here, have my tickets.
I've been like family friends with the Johnsons, and those guys are great people, some of the best. And they were behind us, and he texted me and he's like, "Hey man, you want to swap an intermission?" And I was like, "That is the coolest fucking thing."
That is cool.
Yeah, that's on point, man.
So I mean, it made our nights. Dex
Especially that
Dex
tag
got to
match.
fix. We both got the fist bump Seth Rollins. At the end, that was dope.
Oh,
But
shit.
coolest things, just highlights.
How big was he?
He's more jacked than he looks compared to other guys.
Yeah.
I mean, his forearms are like the size of my dick. They're pretty big. So
Was he
showed
was
master.
he taller than me?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, right.
By a lot.
I'll say already hating.
Quick
Answer the
highlights.
honest question.
In the podcast.
Yeah, right.
That was one of the last nights of the Shield. And if you go on WWE.com,
Second to last night, I think.
yeah, it was the second to last night. So if you get on the YouTube, Seth Rollins is wearing a GoPro. Unfortunately,
They
it was
all
like,
three were
yeah, it was dark. So like we were like,
section through to the
Oh,
right.
that's
of me.
right. You went too.
yeah, Murray was there.
I was by myself in a luchador mask. I'm surrounded by a bunch of sick kids sneezing on me the whole time.
so
I'm back.
I'll defer to you
I'd
two.
love to
I
hear
can,
their
I can tell
story.
you what my
There's this old guy in a luchador, Max.
Yeah, I was wearing a
Freaking us
sequence
out.
jacket and everything all by myself.
I can tell you what I thought the best match was. What was your favorite match of the night?
Well, the tag match, the double tag match in the beginning was pretty cool, just because we got all of those people all at once was pretty cool.
With the Bollywood boys?
Yeah. Otherwise, I'm trying to think of what some of the other ones were.
My favorite match was Revival versus
Oh yeah,
Ryan and
Oh, yeah.
Hawkins, because the crowd couldn't give two shits about like almost like either of them. And by the end of it, they were living and dying on every fall because
Yeah.
everyone worked the crowd so good.
Those house shows are so much fun.
They are. Alexa Bliss had a bad match with Becky Lynch, and it's both of their faults.
Yeah, it was-
Becky Lynch had one of the worst matches I've ever
It
seen
was
this
pretty
week on
bad.
Raw with Alicia Fox.
yeah, that was.
Hot take, guys. Becky Lynch, I love her. She's a great character. She's not that good in the ring whenever she's not with a fucking great performer. Like, it's just.
Some people say that the same thing about Charlotte.
But Charlotte,
Nobody says that about Charlotte.
I don't think so.
Charlotte can work.
They
Like,
might say it, but they're wrong.
Yeah,
Fuck them.
yeah.
And then just other like cool stuff. Some people I were really impressed with that you wouldn't think that I would say just because we were so close and we got to like see that action. Like Lacey Evans, super impressed with her.
she actually
she's
did really
green.
well.
But her character work and like ringside, she was fucking healing it up for the crowd. Like she was like so engaged with everyone, like telling everybody like, don't fucking touch me, like it was
Yeah,
great.
that she went to go have that guy dude kiss her hand, and she like
yeah,
pulled
and
it
she's
back.
like, don't touch me. She's like,
She was better in that glow show though.
Corbin,
Go, huh?
I'm constantly complaining about Baron Corbin. He was awesome.
It was.
Like
He's a pro.
just right there. Yeah, he's a total pro. Bobby Lashley was like right next to us. And that dude is massive. And this guy was like, "You suck, Bobby," and he's like, "You know that I don't really suck." And everybody was
House
like,
shows, man.
"Yeah, Bobby doesn't suck."
Yeah,
Bobby's
house,
man."
house shows are fun.
Can I
Yeah, I do
can
like
I
house
add
shows.
something?
Yeah.
The people in the section in the back, you could tell who they were. It was a bunch of like kind of guys who graduated from the frat recently and all that shit that watch wrestling once a year. Might be WrestleMania, who knows? But they don't ever remember it because they're on pills and all drunk. Come to the show and
Ouch.
chant.
Don't know the type.
Yeah.
Oh, the John Cena chant.
John Cena chants during what match was that?
So it was Buddy Murphy and Tony Nese
yeah, it
putting on an absolute
was awesome.
good
Clinic.
match. Yeah,
Yeah.
just killing it. So these
They were
fucking
right next
idiots
to
are
us.
chanting let's go Cena sucks.
And then the whole side ended up doing
I was so disappointed in St. Louis.
All of us were all shouting, "Shut the fuck up!"
Yeah,
the
that's a
entire
bummer.
time.
But Buddy
a
Murphy's
bummer.
a pro, and he started healing out to this kid in the front row.
Oh, that was great.
So
And
whenever
his
those
mom.
chants started, he totally diverted the entire thing by just going and healing it up with this kid and like
Great.
just getting in his face, and it totally fucking changed like the whole match.
Yep.
It
Probably
was,
made the kid's life.
oh,
too.
Oh yeah,
The kid wants to be a pro wrestler
Right.
from here on out.
Okay,
Oh, yeah,
I say
absolutely.
can't tell him shit.
he's gonna grow up and be a wrestler so he can beat Buddy Murphy's ass one day. Like that's a storyline waiting to happen.
Okay, 20 years ago.
Right here, Rich. All right, we got some birthdays to get to this week. Not a whole lot. Kane, you guys want to guess?
48.
No, 53.
I'll take $1, Bob.
Pretty close. It's 52. Vladimir Kozlov is 40. Held the tag titles for a long time with my man Santino. Alex Riley is 38. Drew Gulak is 32. And Titus O'Neil is 42. Hey, everybody. We know there's a ton of podcasts to listen to, so we appreciate you guys listening to our podcast for Shock City Studios,
Check.
for Soul Taco, for
Check.
JJ Twigs on Southampton,
Check.
for Schlafly Beer, for
Check.
F&B Eatery,
Check.
for Murray the Murray Man Murray, for
Check.
Two Beers Zach
Good
Coleman,
lady,
for
had to go.
Jason
Check.
Cornelius Bell, for
Konnichiwa, bitches.
Bill Veggie. Hey, everybody. Boo the hill!
And when we lose our control, we're banned from ringside. Know what I am, I'm a common man. I'm banned from ringside.
Goes up.
Yeah, I said 9 to 5, time to feel alive. This is banned from ringside.
Southampton,
Check.
for Schlaf